Let's go over kind of the things to consider when you're looking at moving to the Omaha, Nebraska area. Hey guys, for those of you who don't know us, my name is Christian. This is Tyson Compton over here. We run this channel, Life in Omaha, just helping everybody who's looking at moving to the Omaha area. And if you got any questions, you're looking at moving to the area, want to deep dive into it, anything at all, we got your back covered. Call us, text us, email us. All our info is below this video. Or if you want to, you can schedule a call with us below and it'll go directly into our calendars. So let's get into today's video, which is just the overall things to consider when you're moving to Omaha. We're going to go from like two different perspectives. Tyson has been here for how many years?
10 years.
Okay, Tyson's been here for 10 years. I've been here for a year. So you're going to get a 10-year resident perspective and a 1-year resident perspective. And I thought it'd be a cool kind of dynamic between the two of us to show the difference and give our thoughts on really what you can consider, should consider, because we'll have different perspectives on that. And there's different parts to it, but it will be helpful, I think, for anybody considering moving here, or maybe you're relocating here for a job or whatever. Just the things to consider before you fully make the move. All right, so I'll start from a 1-year perspective. I moved here about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago with my family from South Dakota. And some things that after being here for a year, I would really think about if you're planning on moving here or moving here is, number one, where do you want to live? So do you want to live in Omaha proper? Do you want to live in a more historic area? Do you want to live in the newer developed areas? There's so many different pockets within Omaha. And actually Tyson told me this when I was moving here. Things to consider, like where you're going to be. Do you mind driving kind of far for stuff? Like if you're going to be out a little bit, there's towns outside of Omaha where you can get some land, get a little bit of property, but you're going to drive a little bit to get to anything like convenience stores, gas stations, grocery stores, all that kind of stuff. Or do you want to be in town? And if you care about convenience, remember you told me this, you want to be as close to Dodge, which is like the main thoroughfare in Omaha, as possible, which we took his advice. And so we can get basically anywhere we want to be within 10 minutes. But if that's not important to you, you want to get out a little bit, you just got to think that through and think, where do you want to be? How close to stuff do you want to be? Do you want to be far? Do you want to be close? Mm-hmm. And then also another thing to consider if you have kids or a family is, where do you want to send them to school? Do you want to send them to a public school, which we have really good public schools? There's some are better than others. We have a lot of good private schools. Mm-hmm. So if you care about where the school is in proximity to that, that's something else you definitely need to think through is, where's the schools we want to be? Can we be in that house, or can we be in that area so we're in that district? Or if they're private, they don't need to live in a certain area, right? They can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely think that one through. Obviously, another obvious one, and kind of the last one I'll wrap up with and get Tyson's take on this is, depending on where you're working, depending on what side of town it's on, do you want to be close to that? Because sometimes where you're working here is not necessarily where you'd want to live, right? Some of the places where you work, you're like, hey, I'd rather be away from there. And are you going to be okay with that commute to there? Because it could be 30 minutes, could be 35, 40 minutes, depending on where you are. Mm-hmm. Especially we have a little bit of traffic, not a lot, but a little bit of traffic on rush hours. So I'd really consider that, like, think about it, even if that means you have to rent for 3 to 6 months to like figure out the pockets. That might not be a bad idea until you figure out where exactly you want to go. So I think a lot of people, when they move, they just make a quick decision, and I would really think these things through before you do it. Like, we had been visiting here for over a year before we decided where we wanted to be. And a lot of help with Tyson actually helping us and guiding us where to go. And with that, I will hand it over to Tyson and get his thoughts on it.
Yeah, so 10 years in, what are you considering? I think one of the major things that you want to walk through mentally, or at least I want to, is what does life look like in the sense of socially and professionally? So initially you might buy that first house, like, hey, we just need a house. We might be starting a family. It might be early kind of in your professional career. But then you go 10 years later and you're like, okay, hey, what do I need to enjoy life after professional time? Like, so, hey, am I close to friends? Where do they live at? Where am I frequenting before I buy that house after 10 years? Where do you find time spending? What places do you have to go eat? Well, it's kind of a logistical process for you to say, hey, I can enjoy more of the things I like sooner and faster, more at my fingertips based upon where I move next. And I think that has a lot to do with, moving decisions. So you'll find yourself, hey, all our friends live over in this part of town, and we actually changed schools and we like that area. So we should really find somewhere that really kind of enhances our lifestyle and makes things easier to enjoy life and the people we want to surround ourselves with. So I think that's a big part of it, especially when people are kind of going to that second house, or that, that kind of forever home that they say, the one where they raise their kids to the older age, and they might exit and downsize out of. So I think that's really something to consider. And then with that being said, the big conversation is, well, how, yard or land? Well, the big thing people talk about is like, I want more space, want more privacy. The one thing that you need to really consider is, do I want more work? So when you go out and you think, hey, I do want a piece of land, which sounds great in theory, but you have all these added expenses, also added time if you're not paying somebody else to do it. So care and maintenance, or maybe you're bringing it up to current standards. It's a lot of work involved in that. And you need to understand, hey, maybe I should consider, what's that look like in my life right now? Is that something I want to incur? You know, sometimes I'm a big dog person, so I'm a fan of having a dog, but you're like, hey, dog, time and money, right? Well, so is a piece of land. It's time and money, you know? So depending on how you want to kind of approach your life, understand the time and money concept and where you want to place more of the work and effort in. Do you want it just to be surrounded by what you're doing? You can go to it quickly, or do you want something that you can build up and spend time in and go from there?
Yeah, just to pull this all together, guys, I know we talked about a lot of concepts and a lot of ideas. If you want to get like in depth, like, okay, I like what they're saying and I get what they're saying, what areas do we go to? I want to be close to work. I'm going to work in this spot. What's good over there? Any kind of detail like that, honestly, just shoot us a call. Shoot us a call, shoot us a message. We don't mind talking about it, and we will help you kind of navigate that depending on exactly what you're looking for and which of these questions you have, or just schedule a call with us and we'll just jump on a quick Zoom with you and walk you through it. There's no pressure or anything. We'll just help you navigate that. We've helped a ton of people that are moving to the area navigate that, and we've done it ourselves. So reach out to us if you want to do that. We're totally happy to talk with you about it and give you specifics on this topic of what to think through and where to go. And without further ado, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.